What's up, V Griffith? What's up, King? Hi, 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 y'all. I'm trying to get my fat butt up. Hold on, heading to the back. Waiting for the tow truck. Let's see here. I don't know who all is here. Let's see. Well, we got people in here, but ain't nobody saying nothing, so we'll wait for a minute. I got hot water because I'm hungry, and there's a whole bunch going on. My hot water's still heating. Ay, 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 ay. Let's see who all is in here. King JC, V Griffith, I see you. Well, let's go ahead and talk about that. Oh, let me go ahead and say this ahead of time. So I'm gonna talk about the truck because the other issue is much deeper. Because somebody hit me up with a question, and I think it was a great question. Um, and I have been in my own way. I need a spoon. Do I have a spoon, y'all? Oh, I do have a spoon. Yay! I found a spoon. See, my other truck with the whole refrigerator on there, I had like a whole setup with all my stuff. I ain't really got nothing in here other than dry stuff that I can either heat up or tuna and stuff I can eat. I think I'm out of the tuna stuff. Let's see who's in here now. Judy Drone, Medusa, what's up? I'm hoping the young lady who asked me the question comes in. We got about 40 minutes because they're coming to tow me because I have some issues. So we'll talk about that. But if you are new to the channel, please go ahead and give us a subscribe. Give us a thumbs up. If you don't like it, somebody else might, in the words of D Boy Stance. So please give us a thumbs up anyway. Um, and also share it out. And Joyce, hello. Let's see. Studying your air brakes. Okay, good. So let's go over some stuff. So first, I'm gonna tell y'all what's going on with me, and then I want to get into. I got an email. I'm not gonna say who it's from. I don't do that because I don't pity judging anybody, and I don't think it's anything to judge. I just think it's life, and I think the question was good, and I think it's something that I want to cover here because I've been where the person is at. Yogurt. I used to pick up from here, and they introduced me to this because they gave me a bunch of these free little yogurts like this. Absolutely phenomenal. Anyway, I'm waiting for Peter Built of Atlanta to tell me I'm in Atlanta. Um, I'm here to TA, and I just had to relay my load, my nice Florida run. I'm so pissed off. Hey, Jennifer. I'm be covering some topics here in a moment. I do not tell who my topics are from. If I get like a request in the background, I won't ever do that. I don't want everybody knowing everybody's necessary business, but I do think that sometimes things come to me, and I think part of it is kind of the old minister. Well, the minister, because even Danielle tells me, she says you still minister. So I think, hey Shay E, what's up? Um, Actually, it's not bad. It's a little humid, but it ain't bad. Hey Monet, what's up? So I think some topics come, but let me go ahead and go over what's going on with the truck. So yeah, share this out if you get it, guys. And also, I don't know if you guys heard. If you go to Checker 411, there was a young African American girl who drove for Stevens Transport. She was in the oil fields. A car careened across the freeway, and unfortunately, the baby was killed. I forgot her name. I put it on the 411 channel, and that diva lady, the one in the pink, she's doing a video on it. I haven't done a video on it, but I did post what she wrote up on the Trucker 411 Facebook page. So if you guys want to go over there and check it out, and definitely be praying for that baby. But she was killed in the accident, and very young, not very pretty young lady. But the car careened into her. They came across the freeway, and the baby did die. So I mean, this job, things can happen. It might be your time. All right, let's get into everything. So, and I'm heating up water, y'all, because I got a soup because I haven't eaten other than early this morning, and I was waiting for them to come do the relay. So Told you that thing Bill told me about follow your gut. This morning I woke up, had a tinkle in my cup, and okay, she was from Arlington, Texas. Okay. Um, I had the tinkle in my cup, and so something said go ahead and head out early because if I had a split, do a split. I'm in the south part of Atlanta right now, the TA. I'm about 40 some miles from where's that? 40 miles from Macon. My goal was to make it to Macon, Georgia last night, but my truck was kind of lugging last night and I was really tired. So by the time they got me loaded, I drove my available hours, but I was really tired. I was getting tired, and so I stopped here at this TA. Pulled in about 5, 6 o'clock this morning, and there was really no parking. And I was like, my ninjas. I forgot I'm in Atlanta, right? Ninjas want to sleep in. If this was anywhere else in the country, them folks would have been out at 2, 3 o'clock in the morning, and there would have been tons of spots. I got here, there was not a lot of spots, but I turned the corner and had a straight pull through. It was like God said, "Here you go." Closed up my windows, locked up my truck, did my whole security thing that I do, got in a PJs, crawled in the bed, passed out. Forgot to put the CPAP on, got up in the middle of the night, put my CPAP on, went back to sleep. So I got up, had to go do my whole bathroom thing, and something looked at the time and I was like, okay, you know what? I wonder if I have a split coming. Because with Atlanta, I like to be all the way through Atlanta. Atlanta to me is like Chicago, Los Angeles. If the furthest you can get outside of Atlanta, the less traffic drama you have to deal through. And I got through most of it last night. So this morning, I get dressed, get up, get in here. No sooner than I sit my behind in the seat to start changing my logs, I hear this bing, bing, bing. There's a wrench in the upper left-hand corner of the Peterbilt, dash screen, and then it said something about a transmission fault. I'm thinking, this can't be. I don't have, no issues. So I turn the truck off, turn it back on, and I don't see that fault. And the wrench goes away. Then the wrench comes back up, and there's a new fault. And the new fault says adaptive cruise fault. So at this point, I'm like, okay, you know what? I'm just gonna roll with this, and I'll have them repair this when I get to a terminal because I'm not thinking anything of it. I go to pull out, and the truck won't go past gear two. I get around. His truck is going so slow with the pedal to the floor that it didn't even kick me on the drive line with the new ELD. That's how slow his truck was going. So I end up having to come back in a circle. I finally got it in the manual mode, which worked for a minute. And as soon as I mentioned that worked, when I was talking to breakdown, I went to go do that, and now I got a fault on the manual side too, and the truck won't go past first gear. And now I got both faults coming up. So I take pictures. I'm on the line with breakdown, send that over, and everything happens for a reason, I guess, but it's irritating. And it's funny because one of the guys on our 401 channel, DCI Jams, he was telling me he had a problem. Peterbilt and Freightliners are known for some lugging issues when it comes to taking grades with heavy loads. And his truck got out the shop for a similar issue, and he's driving, I think, a 2019-20 Peterbilt as well. He just got from Werner. So I think it's the same issue, and I believe it is a sensor, if I remember correctly. And so, which is a simple fix as long as they have the part there. In addition, they called me, and I have a new student coming. He was Anglo. It's going to be a white guy. We had a very good talk on the phone. He's also married. He's young. He's a young guy. We had a good talk about cell phone policy. We had a good talk about um, driving, and he's got only 100 hours to do. He said, "How long do you think it's going to take me?" I said, "My goal is I'm going to be home at the end of the month. So you will be done one way or another by the end of the month." I said, "You drive your 10." I said, "Now I'm gonna tell you right now, I'm about you driving your time." Because I said, if we have to do 14-hour days, you drive 10, I drive 4. If we can do more than that, that's fine. I said, I will get you done by the end of the month. It's done. So, 100 hours is nothing. That's a week and a half. So he should be done by the end of the month, and then we should have him on his way home to his family, um, or to his truck. So, I pick him up. All this happened, and he's in Albany, Georgia. So hopefully, hey Mandisa, um, Hopefully, I've been calling Medusa because I got two of y'all in here. Medusa, apologize for that. Yeah, I saw the girl. We'll talk about that here in a minute. But anyway, so that's what's going on with the truck. Well, in process, I know I told you guys anybody can hit me up at truckerdoll@gmail.com. And I got an email today. I'm gonna read it verbatim and we're gonna talk about it. Like I said, I got 45 minutes, so I'll try to talk to you before the Peterbilt towing people come and tow my ass. Because once they come tow, I'm gonna have to get off of here. Because I thought it was very good, and I think, and there's a lot I can chime in because I went through some similar issues as this person. I'm not going to say the name of who gave me this. I just want to read it to you. Give me a second. And I'm going to read it verbatim. Okay. And I hope the person's okay with me sharing, but I think this is going to help a lot of people because I went through something similar. Okay. Similar, not all of it, but quite a bit of it. And here's what they wrote to me. It says, I know they say that people on YouTube don't really care about the people, but I'm at a point in my life that I need a change. I'm 40. I'm feeling defeated. I have a perfect driving record, never been convicted of a crime. I'm recently divorced, and my only child has enlisted in the army, and both my parents are deceased. I've smoked marijuana, but I've been clean over a month now. That's how determined I am to change my life. I can't find funding for school, and I'm finding out everyone is doing hair follicle testing. I feel like maybe I should just give up on dreams. I don't know what to do at this point. Do you have any suggestions? Um, so first of all, everyone is not doing hair follicle testing. That's number one. So the company I work for, they do a piss test. It is urine test, and they do hire new drivers. I don't know where you're at in the country. Okay, you'll have to hit me up in the background. Let me know where you're at in the country. So send me by email like you did right now, and let me know where you're at. If you're near where this company is, I can get you that. I also can put you in touch with Heidi Hart. There are free trucking schools, and there are companies that are not all doing hair follicle tests. There are some that still have pee in the cup. Swift, I understand, is now hair follicle test because Night is hair follicle test, and Night is a parenting company. You definitely want to do a piss test if you haven't been clean. And I don't know because I've never done any kind of drugs other than what's prescribed to me. So I'm never really worried about anything of that nature. Where we are similar is that I was in my 40s when I came into trucking, and I was in my mid to late 40s. And what you're dealing with is twofold. And I think everybody deals with this point. I like when Jay Rich first came on to YouTube. What I liked about her is she talked about that point where you get in life where you're going into a job and everybody and their mama would say, "Oh, you got a cush job, you got a nice job, you make a lot of money." You may not be in your happy place with that job. You may be unfulfilled. You may be just you feel defeated. But also at the 40s is when they go. We call our midlife crisis. It's that wake up that we really are grown. I hate to say that. It's that wake up that we're at a point where we need something different in life. And I'm making sure I have a lock back here to make sure the front doors are locked. It's that wake up call to us. Hey, Micheline. Hey, hey there. Hey, Danielle. All of us go through that point in life where we need something different. It could be that you did a criminal act and you now say, you know what, I got to get my shiznit straight. I need to get my life in order. It could be that you hit 40 and you've looked at you look you have because 40 is that midpoint in life where we're now realizing we're the ones in the list of the life insurance policies. Our dates of birth are there. Because remember, when you're younger, you don't see your dates. You see these dates when they do the life insurance policies for all these people that are older. And now you're seeing yourself in that list. You're seeing your year in that list. And so now we know that from 40 to 70, 80, 90 years old, we've got a span of life to try to live. And we might have either been a parent, been a wife, been a husband, and invested our time in other people. And now life has happened. And we realize how much we sacrificed for other folks and never invested in our own self. Or we realize how much we might have just been doing a day-to-day job and just doing a routine and on a treadmill and not living life. I have a good friend of mine. Well, I haven't talked to her in a while. She was a very good friend of mine for a while, and we were in high school together. And I found out that she has the worst form of lupus, the one that attacks all of the body organs, and they had given her a limited amount of time to live. And when I sat down and talked to her, she said something that was probably one of the most poetic things and most eye-opening things she said. She said, "Shannon, I realize that all I've been doing all my life is just running on a treadmill." What that means is a treadmill is a machine that sits in a room in a stable place. It does not change scenery, environment, not a damn thing. And every day you got on, you went into a room, and all you did was walk on this treadmill. That is your life. Nothing's different, nothing's changed, and you just are in this constant motion of nada. And when you wake up and realize, what the hell, and you look up, 40 years of your life has gone by. Now, in that 40 years, you might have done some dynamic things. You might have raised a child, invested in them, and they might be a good child prayerfully. You might have invested in a marriage, and maybe that marriage is good, okay, or maybe it's not, and maybe it bit the dust. And now you're at 40 years old and you're saying, what the hell do I want to do with the rest of my life? What I am impressed about you is that you're looking at that, because you could be my biological father who's he's basically sleeping his way to a casket. He stopped working his job, and this is all he does all day, in a chair. And he's sleeping his life to a casket. He slept over the last 10 years of his life to a casket. Eat, poop, sleep. That's what a dog does. Cocker spaniels do that. Eat, poop, sleep. Actually, their life is more adventurous than my father's. So I'm going to tell you, do not feel defeated. I looked into trucking years ago. Am I making the same kind of money I made in corporate America? No, I'm not. Now, with the other company, I was doing pretty good, but I'm not. I'm not making that. Am I making something that I can live on? Yes, I may have to adjust my living, but I am at more peace. Yes, I am at way more peace than when hey Black Nation TV, how you doing, my son? That's my other son, y'all. That's one of my old Swifty sons. Um I am at a place now where I'm more at peace. And you can make good money in this industry. You just got to find your fit. Um Danielle had recommended me to a company where I was doing pretty decent if it wasn't for the owner, but I'm not going to have you talk to me crazy and think that that's what I have to. I don't. I can have. I'll have peace and make a decent wage. I'm okay with that. I'm not. If I became a millionaire tomorrow, honestly, I'd probably still live a very humble life because of where I'm at in my mind, where I'm at and who I am now. I have some things I would do. I definitely have some people I would bless, but I'm not gonna go buy the Mercedes. I'm not gonna buy a big ass house. I might buy some decent property. I'm gonna buy. You want peace, actually, and that is the hugest change for any of us right now. Um, Black Nation got yes, you got one of my lives. It's one of the biggest things is that you get peace in this life because a lot of us live this life and we live it defeated. We live it just to survive. And before we know it, we survive our way right to a casket and never enjoy not 1 ounce of it. We live a very miserable effing life. And it doesn't have to be that way. It is choices we make. And those choices, now don't get me wrong, coming in this industry, you might not be able to live exactly the same way. And you might. You might do well and you get in here and next thing I know, the person who wrote this to me owns 8 trucks and is making, you know, 300,000 a year. You might. And if that's what you want to do, that's what you want to do. It all is perspective. There are so many ways and ventures you can go with this. You're not defeated. You're not the first person to smoke marijuana in this industry, and then try to struggle to get in. There's plenty of people that had to stop, piss in a cup. You're gonna find it. There's plenty of trucking companies that still do piss tests, and you can come into the industry. Now, Trump has not made the laws yet to where he's going to do hair follicle testing, but it's coming. But for now, there are still companies piss testing people. And if you can do a piss test and be clean, cool. While you're in trucking school, it's even more time. Um, oh, I'm not saying anything's wrong with having a Mercedes. I'm never saying that. I'm saying for me, what I'm trying to say is there's, and so let me try to make that clear. When I say that, please take it in the context in which I mean it. There are people out here that buy their cars and their vehicles to floss for other people. That's my father. He wants people to tell him how pretty he looked in that car. He wants people to tell him how pretty he looks in a suit. I could give a flying damn what you think I look in something. For me, if I buy the Mercedes because that's the car that I want, then cool. I bought it for me. I don't give a damn if you think I look good in it. I don't care what you think. I don't care if you don't like Mercedes. That's what I bought for me. For me, though, it's not about a Mercedes. For me, it's not about a big mansion. I have friends of mine, I know it's about status for them. I love them dearly, but they look at what other people have. They look at the big house, they look at the fancy car, and that person is glorious to them. Granted, I understand that success can come with certain things. Like somebody tells me I have a Mercedes on here, automatically I know okay, they have most likely have a very good job, unless they got a piece of crap Mercedes. But I know by sometimes just talking to people and from my former background, how people, that is usually a measure of success. For me, where I'm at in my life is totally irrelevant for me. I'm at a whole chuck it all. I'm at a whole another playing field now. And my playing field is I want peace in my Middle East. I don't want a bunch of drama. I don't want a bunch of BS. The young man I talked to today, he says, I don't like people yelling or screaming. I said, I'm not yelling and talking to you right now. I said, how I talk to you right now is exactly how I'm gonna continue to talk to you. I said, even with the last student I had on here who was special, I didn't raise my voice to that crazy man. I didn't talk crazy to him. I was totally calm the whole time he was on here. If you guys would have heard the recording I did, the way he was talking to me, most people would have been like, oh, no, I was calm. Just talk to him, just like I'm talking right now. I want peace in my Middle East, and I get it. And especially when you're now an empty nester, nothing's in your house, you need something different. I just talked to my Aunt Rose here in Tennessee. I was like, "Hey, Aunt Rose, what are you doing?" And she said she's working on some stuff at the church. My aunt's retired school teacher. She went back and started working. You know what she's telling me? She's in her late 70s. She's like, "Yeah, baby, I'm probably gonna do some substitute teaching." Why? Them crazy ass these people kids are crazy as hell. What? Child, please, bye, Felicia. Subbing shit. No, sorry, Bob. Um, you I how do I put this? I get more now with wanting freedom, and so there's definitely ways out of this. So for the person who sent me this, don't feel defeated. You're not. I went to a church with a lady whose husband cheated on her, did a whole bunch of really foul stuff. She came in the truck and loved it. Left her corporate job, needed to change. Her kids were out of high school. Her marriage went south, and she was the first person I knew that came into this. And shortly thereafter, um, I think it wasn't even I had went through some stuff at a job and I was like, I don't want to be in a corporate office anymore. And I decided I wanted to travel. I was too fat to be an airline stewardess. So, and I love to drive. I love driving. And I was like, what can I do? And I had already looked at this years before. And then finally, actually, it was Nikki's cousin, Nikki J, because I was kind of hemming and hawing. And she said, what are you scared? And I was like, I am kind of scared because it's scary to make an unknown step. It's scary to try something, but sometimes we just need to step out and try it. And it's just part of the journey. When we fall, when we get up, we bruise our knees. It's all part of the journey. It's all part of the journey of life. And so sometimes things transpire in order to push us in a direction so that we can experience something new. Um, through this Through this avenue of trucking, I've met Danielle, very unique person. I had the pleasure of meeting Monet. I'm going to be meeting Nikki. I mean, me and Nikki been talking for a while, but we've never physically met. Um, I know I have another friend of mine who we went to trucking school together. He's a retired veteran, Mike and his family, and I got to talk to him, catch up with him, and to see a guy who's a man who actually ended up raising his kids. His former wife had issues, and then later died. He's now remarried, but a man who takes on his children, a black man who took on his children and reared them on his own after his wife started doing some shenanigans. And and then later passed away. I've met two white brothers who, in my trucking school, one of them, I know he had some DUI issues, and how they've been up and down in their life, and they still stay in contact with me today. Um, I've met some very dynamic and unique people in this industry from all various financial backgrounds, cultural backgrounds, spiritual backgrounds, and it's humbled me. It's grown me. It's made me learn to love people where they're at. I believe that, this industry has its issues. But for me, it was more than just coming into the industry. It was God through this medium or through this industry gave me a sense of humanity. Because in this industry, you will find people from the guy who grew up on the farm to the CPA. I met a CPA back when I was at Werner who went through a divorce similar to what you did and decided to had his own business, leave his business, come out here into trucking, and he just went through life and life happened and he wanted something different. You will be shocked at some of the people sitting behind the wheels of these trucks and where they actually come from. Some come from the farm. Some of these people come in here well educated, some of them financially stable. No lie. I've met some very financially comfortable individuals driving trucks. I met a dental hygienist now driving a truck. CPA had his own business driving trucks. You know, the number of veterans that come out, retired veterans that have their pension from that, driving trucks. Oh, V Griffith, you're a flight attendant? Yeah, I have a girlfriend of mine who's a flight attendant. She was Continental, now it's United, and she does international flights. She lives in PA now, but she is based out of Newark. Um, that's a good job too. That's actually fun. I've also met there was a young lady who reached out to me who was working on a cruise ship, who's looking at coming into trucking. It has its It has its attractions, it has its downfalls. It definitely will toughen you up, but it also see what you're made of too. Trucking is not easy. It's not. But if you want to change in life, step out. I'm a firm believer. Trust God and step out. And if it's not for you, it was a step in the direction you're supposed to go because there was something you were supposed to learn from it. If it's for you, it's a step in the direction you were supposed to go because it's something you're going to learn from it. Guys, out of high school, I wanted to be a heart surgeon. She's saying who was this just said it, but she went to school for biology and now she's driving a truck. I want to be a heart surgeon. Most of my background, I was walked into business by things that took place in high school through a special program. It blessed me. Was this where I saw myself? Not really, but I actually kind of enjoy it. It's made me know that I want an RV when I retired. If the Lord lets us stay on this planet long enough, I don't know how much time we got. um, with the way things are going. Hmm. Y'all can tell I'm hungry. I'm hungry. And Danielle ate my favorite, which is one of my favorites is liver and onions. Although I'm considering the pescatarian thing. But to the young lady, there are trucking schools and there are companies where you go to a company, you have to drive for them for 6 months to a year. Um, they will let you go through their trucking school, and then from there, after you do your time, what the hell you want to do? The young man I was talking to today, he was a Werner driver. Company I work for, I call them a second chance company. So usually when they're giving me a student with 100 hours, that's a second chance. Student has done something with another company, but they warranted that it's not serious enough that they're not unhirable. They'll hire them, put them out with a trainer for 100 hours, and then you sign off on them. They go test out again, and they go get their truck. He told me, he says, "Well, I had some issues." I said, "Honey, if they're giving you 100 hours, either you've been off the road for a minute, or you did something with another company." And I said, "This company is a second chance company." I said, "That's what I'm gonna call them. They're a starter second chance company, meaning that you effed up at Joe Bob's company. That company let you go. They're gonna send you with somebody like me. Make sure you can drive. I sign off on it, and then they send you back to go do your test, and then they give you a truck, and you go out here and you work for these people. Do your 6 months to a year, or maybe you find this is where you want to stay. However the cookie crumbles for you, work it to your advantage because they gave you a second chance. Give them at least 6 months of your time to pay them back for the second chance." Um, Waiting for this water to get hot. Yeah, it was good too. But don't feel defeated. Just know that God has got something in the works for you. And then as far as the marijuana smoking, I'm not a proponent of marijuana at all, with the exception of probably for medicinal purposes, if truly used for medicinal purposes. Um, I'm just not. I'm not judging anybody. It's not my thing. I've never been on any drugs other than, like I said, what's prescribed to me. I understand people have done things in their young days, their old days, their in between days, and tried a whole bunch of stuff. It's not my thing. Even with alcohol, and I think I'm like a casual drinker. I'm not somebody, and like my drinks are gonna be more like your restaurant drinks. I'm not gonna usually go to a bar and get toe down sloppy drunk. um, and even when I had alcohol in my house, my alcohol could last for almost over a couple of years because I don't drink like that. It's just who I am. I'm a little different. And probably just it's just I'm very much I have to be in control of my faculties. That is huge for me. I don't ever want to be where I'm not in control of my faculties. Oh, hold on, y'all. This might be my tow truck. This might be my tow truck. I just saw a tow truck come through, and that might be him. If it is, I'm gonna have to end the live. I think that's my tow truck. I think that's him. Guys, I'm gonna end the live because I think this is my tow truck. Might do a later on tonight. Danielle, I'll be calling you in a few minutes. Peace.